All right, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to this morning's Torah portion. We're going to be going through the book of Numbers, chapter 1 through 4. Well, actually, I think it's 4, verse 20. So open in a word of prayer, and we'll get started. Yahweh, we thank you for giving us this Sabbath to be set apart, to gather and go over your Torah. May your commandments, your words that you have given to us, just fill up our hearts, make it come alive in us. And Yahweh, we ask that you'd give us new insight and lead us in this Torah portion with your Holy Spirit. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. So I'm going to give an overview of the first 4 chapters here. In chapter 1, we have a census of the warriors, 20-year-old and up. Then the Levites are counted, or not counted for the war, for going to war. The camps are pitched, and then in chapter 2, it gives us a detailed picture of the camping arrangement. Chapter 3 is Aaron's sons are listed. The Levites' duties are recounted. Levites counted from 1 month old and upward for service. Redemption of the firstborn males, 1 month and older. Chapter 4 is the duties are listed for the Levites from 30 years to 50 years. Aaron and his sons are listed. The Kohathites, Gershonites, and the Merarites. So that's an overview. I have a couple different things to point out, but we're going to go ahead and see if we can get a reader for chapter 1 first and see what everybody gleaned from this Torah portion. So can I get a reader for chapter 1? I'm getting somebody. What?
You want me for the first chapter?
If you wish. I mean, you could have all 4 if you want, Stevie. But yeah. Well, you just keep reading and then until you stop. I mean, we can, however far you can go. No, go ahead and just read chapter 1. Josiah's got the mic for you.
All right. Bamidbar, Numbers, chapter 1. Adonai spoke to Moshe in the Sinai desert in the tent of meeting on the first day of the 2nd month of the 2nd year after they had left the land of Egypt. He said, "Take a census of the entire assembly of the people of Israel by clans and families. Record the names of all the men 20 years old and over who are subject to military service in Israel. You and Aaron are to enumerate them company by company. Take with you from each tribe someone who is head of a clan. These are the men to take with you. From Reuben, Eliezer, the son of Shedeur. From Shimon, Shemuel, and the son of Surishadai. From Yehuda, Nachshon, the son of Abinadab. From Yishakar, Nathanael, the son of Zuar. From Zebulun, Elav, the son of Helon. Of the children of Joseph, from Ephraim, Elishama, the son of Aminahud. From Manasseh, Gamaliel, the son of Pedazzur. From Benjamin, Avidan, the son of Gedoni. From Dan, Achiezer, the son of Aminashadai. From Asher, Pagiel, the son of Akron. From Gad, Eliasaph, the son of Deuel. From Naphtali, Akira, the son of Enan. These were the ones called from the assembly, the chiefs of their fathers' clans and heads of thousands in Israel. So Moshe and Aaron took these men who had been designated by name, and on the first day of the 2nd month, they gathered the whole assembly to state their genealogies by families and clans, and recorded the names of all those 20 years old and over, as well as their total numbers. Moshe counted them in the Sinai desert, just as Adonai had ordered him. The men, 20 years old and over, who were subject to military service were recorded by name, family, and clan, starting with the descendants of Reuben, Yisrael's firstborn. Here are the totals. Descendants of Reuben, 46,500. Descendants of Shimron, 59,300. Descendants of Gad, 45,650. Descendants of Yehuda, 74,600. Descendants of Yishakar, 54,400. Descendants of Zebulun, 57,400. Descendants of Ephraim, 40,500. Descendants of Manasseh, 32,200. Descendants of Benjamin, 35,400. Descendants of Dan, 62,700. Descendants of Asher, 41,500. Descendants of Naphtali, 53,400. Moshe, Aaron, and the 12 leaders of Israel, each with a clan, counted the people of Israel by their clans, those 20 years old and over, eligible for military service in Israel, and the grand total came out to 603,550. But those who were Leviim, according to the clan of their fathers, were not counted in this census, because Adonai had told Moshe, do not include the clan of Levi when you are taking the census of the people of Israel. Instead, give the Leviim charge over the tabernacle of the testimony, its equipment, and everything else connected with it. They are to carry the tabernacle and all its equipment, serve in it, and set up their camp around it. When the tabernacle is to be moved onward, it is the Leviim who are to take it down and set it up in the new location. Anyone else who involves himself is to be put to death. The rest of Israel are to set up camp, company by company, each man with his own banner. But the Leviim are to camp around the tabernacle of the testimony, so that no anger will come upon the assembly of the people of Yisrael. The Leviim are to be in charge of the tabernacle of the testimony. This is what the people of Yisrael did. They did everything that Adonai had ordered Moshe.
Thank you. Does anybody have any comments on that, chapter 1? Does anybody see any?
I do have one comment, Brian.
Okay.
I read this week about a man who wanted to light the lamps of a replica, life-size replica of the menorah. And he was advised that he should not do so, because he was not, for one thing, he was not of the tribe of Levi, so and he was not a descendant of Aaron either. So he wanted to just do it, right? And but they advised him not to do so, that it could bring a curse upon him. So he decided not to do that.
Okay.
I was just thinking about that in terms of this verse about if anybody else attempts to do the work of the Leviim and taking care of the tabernacle, they were to be put to death.
So I have a comment on this, chapter 1. I did want to give just some thoughts. The entire book of Numbers, like you mentioned earlier, is Bamidbar. It's in the wilderness. That is, that this entire book is just dealing with Israel and their flesh. You'll see in a recurring theme where they fall in the wilderness, they fall into sin, they fall into deception, and Yahweh is constantly redeeming them, and he chastises them, redeems them, brings them back, and continues going through. But that is a continuing theme through this entire book. Something to bring up is 1 Corinthians 10, 1 through 13. I can swing over and read that real quick, because this is Paul, Colossians. I should have had it marked. And I went past it. But this is summary of it is that the book, the Numbers, is what happened in the wilderness is an admonition for us. So I'll read it real quick. For I do not want you to be unaware, brothers, that our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and all were baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and all ate the same spiritual food, and all drank the same spiritual drink. For they drank from the spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was the Messiah. Nevertheless, most of them God was not pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things took place as examples for us, that we might not desire evil as they do. Do not be idolaters, as some of them were, as it is written. The people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. We must not indulge in sexual immorality, as some of them did, and 23,000 fell in a single day. We must not put Christ to the test, as some of them did, and were destroyed by serpents, nor grumble, as some of them did, and were destroyed by the destroyer. Now these things happened to them as an example, but they were written down for our instruction, on whom the ends of the age has come. So something to that just as we read through this, we can see these things are going to happen again. They're a repeating theme, and obviously everybody goes through their own walk and struggles, but and we can see these replaying over and over again, and they will come to the full effect in the end of the age. But does anybody have any other comments? I keep having more, so. I did have a slight parallel, because if you overlay this and put it in the context of these things are for our admonition, to whom the ends of the age have come, we are assuming we are at the doorstep of that. And we have the counting of the tribes. We also have the hand-selected leaders of the tribes that Yahweh picked. And then you go over into Revelation, where it talks about the 144,000. It lists off that there'll be 12,000 from every tribe. And there's just a paralleling theme right there on that. So I think there's a lot more in this that we can glean if we kind of view it in certain context. So the other thing that I learned this week is that Psalms, the book of Psalms, can be broken up into 5 books, And the fourth book is from chapter 90 through 106. And that, again, also parallels and goes really well with Book of Numbers. So as we're going through the next few Torah portions where we're in Numbers, open up Psalm 90 through 106 and just read it and put them together. You can kind of see the themes going. And it's all about creation, Yahweh's sovereignty, and the correction and redemption of Israel in those chapters. But if anybody has a comment, feel free to raise your hand. If not, can I get a reader for chapter 2? Stevie, you want to read, or you want Raymond to read?
I was going to make a comment.
Perfect.
And I'm not quite sure how to phrase this because I have been, as some of us have, entrenched, I think is the right word, entrenched in Christian theology. And depending upon what area of theology you emphasized in your studies, there are some, myself included, who did a study of all available interpretations for the last days, except for one. We are good Christian theologians, never even considered Jewish eschatology. With that being said, though, we, at least in our case, we're diligently studying Acharit Hayamim, the last days. But from this text that we read in 1 Corinthians 10, from the Apostle Paul, he speaks of an urgency and immediacy almost of the Acharit Hayamim, that the end of this age, that it sounds imminent. And that's quite common throughout the New Testament scriptures. Yet here we are 2,000 years later, and we also believe we are on the threshold. And yeah, there's a lot of good reasons for that. But what's I think worth reflecting upon is that that was the case. That was the case 2,000 years ago as well. So we need to consider that.
Yeah, you can make the argument as well as that each generation had their own, because this was a buildup. As sin increases, also righteousness increases in the world. So as we go through each generation, both of these things keep getting more amplified. And then you can say the end of the age is when they're both fully mature. And we can see that. Every generation had their own version of that, where sin and righteousness was amplified each time. But yes, we are looking for the full maturity.
Right. That's a good point, Brian. And I just wanted to add that my thinking has been that it's possible, it's for all of us to take an immediacy about Acharit Hayamim within our own personal life, because at the end of our days, it's just the same as the second coming. It is, at least for us, because we enter into the last days, and we will be a part of that as the resurrection.
Yes, and depending on your theology, is like when you die, it is immediate, and you're before the throne, and so no matter if you are asleep for, say, that you died 1,000 years ago and the second coming is soon, it's still an instant. So yeah, I agree. So.
Yeah, what Stevie's talking about, the Acharit Hayamim, that's what we're studying on Wednesday night. But their theme is that eschatology drives discipleship. So that the urgency drives us to go out and to, as we're going, make disciples. But it's not, going out and preaching at people. It's just knowing the Torah so that we have conversations about it. We can bring up that eschatology. And like you said, the end of the days are coming. It's even more apparent when you look at it from a Jewish perspective.
Yeah, if you don't have any urgency, then you'll be like those who have fallen asleep at the end of the age.
Exactly.
Which, when you talk about the 10 virgins, they all fell asleep. All
Right.
10 of them did, but only, 5 of them actually brought enough oil to trim their lamps.
Well, this is where we're getting our oil from.
Yep.
We're getting extra oil now.
Yep.
And putting it in our lamps and moving forward and being ready for when he comes. So
Thank you.
I'll read it. Adonai said to Moshe and Aaron, the people of Israel are set up by camp by clans, each man with his own banner and under his own clan's symbol. They are to camp around the tent of meeting, but at a distance. Those camping on the east side toward the sunrise are to be under the banner of the camp of Yehuda. They are to camp according to the companies, but the tribe by tribe and leader. They are as follows: Yehuda, Nashkan and the son of Aminadab, 74,600. Issachar, Nathaniel, the son of Zur, 54,400. Zebulun, Eliab, the son of Helon, 57,400. Total, 186,400. This group is to set out first. Those camping on the side are to be under the banner of the camp of Reuben. They are to set the camp according to the companies by tribe and leader as follows: tribe, chief and number. Tribe of Reuben, Eliezer the son of Shadur, 46,500. Shimon, Shlumiel the son of Zur Shehadadi, 59,300. Gad, Eliasaph the son of Reuel, 45,650. Total, 151,450. This group is to set out second. Then the tent of meeting with the camp of the Levim will set out, with the other camps in front and behind. They will go in the same order as their camps are set up. Each man will go forward in his position under his banner. Those camping on the west are to be under the banner of the camp of Ephraim. They are to set camp according to the companies by tribe and leader. They are as follows: tribe Ephraim, Elishma the son of Ammihamidad, 40,500. Manasseh, Gamaliel the son of Pedarsur, 32,300. Benjamin, Avidan the son of Gidon, 35,400. Total, 108,100. This group is to set out third. Those camping on the north are to be under the banner of the camp of Dan. They are to camp according to the companies by tribe and leader. They are as follows: tribe, chief, and number. Dan, Achiezer the son of Mishidadi, 62,700. Asher, Pagiel the son of Ochran, 41,500. Naphtali, Achriah the son of Enan, 53,400. Total, 157,600. This group is to set out last with their banners. These are the ones counted from the people of Israel by clans. The number total recorded in the camps, company by company, was 603,550. But as Adonai ordered Moshe, the Leviim were not counted with the rest of Israel. The people of Israel did everything Adonai had ordered Moshe. They set up camp under their banners, and they set out, each according to his family and clan. Keep going?
Nope. I'm going to see if anybody has any comments on this. And then we'll get a reader for chapter 3. But did anybody notice the total number was repeated? 603,550. Whenever it's repeated, we know that it is very important. So anybody have any thoughts on why Yahweh repeated himself here? I have one, but I'm not going to claim that it's the 100% correct or only one, because there's a lot of times there's multiple. But how many men were counted when they left Egypt? Roughly 600,000, right? Again, that goes back to the promise that Yahweh gave to Abraham, said that look up at the stars, count them if you can, however, like your children will be like the stars. It is said that with your naked eye, if you look up on a clear night, you can see about 600,000 stars. And then we have the first year, we had the 3,000 that sinned with the golden calf that got killed. And then we have a repeat of the 603,550. So they increased while they were in the wilderness. It's a hostile environment. And I think one of the points is that Yahweh's trying to make is, I sustain you and make you multiply in the harshest environment. That's just my thought. So if there's any other questions, raise your hand. If not, we got another reader.
Got a comment.
I'll take that.
So I was just looking through this in chapter 2 here, and one thing that was coming to mind is the fact that he's a very orderly God, right? He's a God of order. He's telling how everything is to be laid out, and how everything is to fall in line, and how they're to camp within their camp. And we can see this like even in the prophetic in the future. Everything's kind of laid out in a nice orderly fashion. They're to leave in a certain order. They're to come back. And it just shows that he's not a God of disorder. He's a God of design. Everything is to be in line and in the way he has commanded it. And it's just kind of interesting that this is just something I thought of right here was, you have Ephraim, which is actually on the west side, and the people have kind of gone from the Eastern thinking and moved to the Western mindset. And we have Ephraim, who is scattered among the nations and kind of more scattered. It went up north and then to the west, and he represents the northern house of Israel. And I just thought that was kind of interesting that, God even puts them in the camp towards the west, and then they end up straying towards the Western mindset.
Good point.
My thought is that when the end times come, a lot of people have the idea that things are just going to snap into place. We're going to be snapped away, and Yeshua's going to put us to rest, or we all have a nice life and comfort. But the way I'm seeing it is he's gathering the armies, and he's putting the tribes together. We better figure out what tribe we're in and how to get there and what our marching orders are going to be. Because it's just like this hat I'm wearing, it's the Marine Corps. You don't get in there without going through boot camp. That's where we're at now. And those are the things that this Torah is what's training us how to be in that army. Like I said, we need to figure out how we're going to be, where we're going to be, and what we're going to be doing there, because Yeshua is going to tell us through the Torah where we need to be. And we need to study that and drop all the other stuff, concentrate on the main goal of God's idea, what we're going for and where we're going to get there.
Can I get a reader for chapter 3? Aaron?
These are the descendants of Aaron and Moshe. As of the day when Yehovah spoke with Moshe on Mount Sinai, the names of the son of Aaron are Nadab the firstborn, Avihu, Eleazar, and Itmar. These were the names of the sons of Aaron the Kohen, whom he anointed and ordained as Kohanim. But Nadab and Abihu died in the presence of Jehovah when they offered unauthorized fire before Jehovah in the Sinai desert, and they had no children. Eleazar and Itmar served as Kohanim in the presence of Aaron their father. Jehovah said to Moshe, "Summon the tribe of Levi, and assign them to Aaron the Kohen, so that they can help him. They are to carry out his duties and the duties of the whole community before the tent of meeting and performing the service of the tabernacle. They are to be in charge of all the furnishings of the tent of meeting and to carry out all the duties of the people of Israel connected with the service of the tabernacle. Assign the Leviim to Aaron and his sons. Their one responsibility in regard to the people of Israel is to serve him. You are to appoint Aaron and his sons to carry out the duties of the Kohanim. Anyone else who involves himself is to be put to death." Jehovah said to Moshe, "I have taken the Leviim from among the people of Israel in lieu of every firstborn male that is first in the womb among the people of Israel. The Leviim are to be mine. All the firstborn males belong to me, because on the day that I killed all the firstborn males in the land of Egypt, I separated for myself all the firstborn males of Israel, both human and animal. They are mine. I am Jehovah." Jehovah said to Moshe in the Sinai desert, "Take a census of the tribe of Levi by clans and families. Count every male a month old or over." Moshe counted them in the manner that Jehovah had said, and as he had been ordered. The names of the sons of Levi were Gershon, Kat, Merari. The names of the sons of Gershon were Livni and Shimi. They fathered their respective clans. Likewise, the sons of Kat, Amram, Yitzhar, Hebron, and Uziel. And the sons of Merari, Machli and Mushi. These fathered the clans of the Leviim. Gershon fathered the clans of Livni and Shimi. These were the Gershon clans. Of them 7,500 males a month old and over were counted. The Gershon clans were to camp behind the tabernacle towards the west. The chief of the Gershon clan was Elisaph, the son of Leel. In connection with the tent of meeting, the descendants of Gershon were to be in charge of the following: the tabernacle itself, its inner and outer coverings, the screen for the entrance of the tent of meeting, the curtains surrounding the courtyard, the screen for the entrance of the courtyard surrounding the tabernacle and the altar, all the fixtures and ropes for these items, and their maintenance. Kat fathered the clans of Amram, Yitzhar, Hebron, and Uziel. These were the Kat clans. Of them 8,600 males a month old and over were counted. They were in charge of the holy place. The Kat clans were to camp next to the tabernacle toward the south. The chief of the Kat clan was Elitzphan, the son of Uziel. They were responsible for the ark, the table, the menorah, the altars, the utensils the Kohanim use when they serve the holy place, the curtain, and everything involved with the maintenance of these things. Eleazar the son of Aaron the Kohen was the first among the chiefs of the Leviim and supervised those in charge of the holy place. Merari fathered the clans of Machli and Mushi. These were the Merari clans. Of them 6,200 males a month old and over were counted. The chief of the Merari clan was Tzuriel, the son of Achphaliel. They were to camp next to the tabernacle toward the north. The Merari clans were assigned responsibility for the frames of the tabernacle, along with its crossbars, posts, sockets, and fittings, together with their maintenance. Also the posts of the surrounding courtyard with their sockets, pegs, and ropes. Those who were to camp in the front of the tabernacle on the east, in front of the tent of meeting toward the sunrise, were Moshe, Aaron, and his sons who were in charge of the holy place. They carried out their responsibility on behalf of the people of Israel, and anyone else who involved himself was to be put to death. The total number of the Leviim, whom Moshe and Aaron counted by their clans, all the males a month old and over, was 22,000. Jehovah said to Moshe, "Register all the firstborn males of the people of Israel a month old and over, and determine how many there are. Then you are to take the Leviim from me, Jehovah, in place of all the firstborn among the people of Israel, and the cattle of the Leviim in place of the firstborn of the cattle belonging to the people of Israel." Moshe counted as Jehovah had ordered him, all the firstborn among the people of Israel. The total number of the firstborn males registered a month old and over of those who were counted was 22,273. Yehovah said to Moshe, "Take the Leviim in place of all the firstborn among the people of Israel, and the cattle of the Leviim in place of their cattle. The Leviim are to belong to me, Yehovah. Since there were 273 more firstborn males from Israel than from Leviim, in order to redeem them, you are to take 5 shekels, 2 ounces, for each of these. Use the sanctuary shekel, which is equal to 20 gerahs. Give the redemption money for those extra people to Aaron and his sons." Moshe took the redemption money from those who were over and above those redeemed by the Leviim. The amount of money he took from the firstborn of the people of Israel was 1,365 shekels, using the sanctuary shekel. Moshe gave the redemption money to Aaron and his sons, in keeping with what Yehovah had said, as Yehovah had ordered Moshe.
Thank you. I have a question. Does anybody know why they had to redeem the 273? Like what deeper thought is behind that? And then, so if anybody has that answer, let me know. And then I wanted to ask, did anybody notice the 3 representations of Yeshua in this? It was part of chapter 3, or part of chapter 2, and here chapter 3. But it has everything to do with the east side of the encampments. So what I have written down here is the east side of the tabernacle at the tent, at the entrance, is Moses, Aaron, and his 2 sons, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. So if you get the 3 tribes of Israel, and then the Moses, Aaron, and his sons. The 3 representations of Yeshua here is Moses is being the mediator between Yahweh and man. Aaron is the high priest, and Judah is there with the scepter, symbolizing the kingship of Yeshua. Wow, I slurred that a little bit. But you have 3 representation, and with these 3 guarding, because the east entrance is the only way into the tabernacle, they are guarding the only way into the tabernacle. This also points us that Yeshua is the only way to the Father, having all of them represented there. So I thought that was really cool. So Michael has his hand up in the back. Is it for reading, or are you going to answer my question?
It's actually no and no. So I'm not going to answer the question, but if reading this chapter, it drew the conclusion from Exodus 32, what happened at Mount Sinai, and the responsibility of, I should say, what should have happened. So what should have happened? Who should have been the one who crossed when Moses said, "Who do you serve? Who's on Yahweh's side?" Who should have it been that was been the first ones that crossed the line? It should have been the firstborns. Just as Israel is Yahweh's firstborn, it should have been the firstborn that crossed, because they are the godly head, the priestly, and the family teaching and raising the children. I mean, not saying the mother and father are, but they are to the children, other siblings, they are the ones who are role models. So you see a transition and a shift that goes here. It went from the consecrated firstborn, because back in Egypt, the firstborns were consecrated, and those were the chosen. And here it says, because they have crossed, those are the ones who said, "We are yours" at Mount Sinai. They are ones who received the priestly role. So just this is a really interesting chapter. My commentary here in the firstborn had a position of special honor and responsibility in the family structure, just as Yahweh had proclaimed Israel to be his firstborn. With the death of the Egyptians as firstborns, the firstborn sons of Israel who had been saved in the night of Passover were to be sanctified unto Yahweh. This is in reference to Exodus 11, 4, 5, 12, and 21. These were to be set apart for Yahweh, and it was necessary to make a sacrifice for their redemption. Now that all male members of the tribe of Levi from 1 month old and above were substituted for the firstborn males of the rest tribes of Israel. Thus the Levites were to be consecrated for Yahweh's service. So yeah, it's what happens when someone doesn't fulfill their role. It ends up, Yahweh does find another solution because you didn't fulfill the role that you were supposed to fulfill.
That whole scenario you painted kind of makes me think of the Bride of Christ that we all reference. Many are called, but few will make it. Few are chosen. So that's kind of like another layer to that. Anybody have any questions, comments? We got 2, 3.
Yeah, I kind of want to comment on the role of the Levites here as we're going through these chapters. They were obviously in charge of the sanctuary, and one of their key responsibilities was to make sure nothing would enter into that sanctuary that would defile it. So no stranger was allowed in, or the penalty was death. And I want to take you to a future prophecy of the sanctuary in the millennial kingdom. It has the same criteria there in Ezekiel 43. It mentions there that in this vision to Ezekiel, he says, starting in verse 1, afterward he brought me to the gate that looks toward the east, and behold, the glory of God of Israel came from the way of the east. Now, if you take that verse right there, you can connect it to Matthew 24:27, where it mentions, as lightning comes out of the east and shines to the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And verse 30 mentions, then you shall appear the sign of the Son of Man coming in clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So we see the same. This is the prophecy Ezekiel's talking about here. And he says that the glory came from the way of the east. His voice was like the noise of many waters, and the earth shined with his glory. So that's what Yeshua was mentioning in Matthew 24 there. And if you go on down, he says in verse 4, he says, I fell on my face, and the glory of Yahweh came into the house by the way of the gate, whose prospect is toward the east. So the Spirit took me up and brought me into the inner court. And this is key. In verse 7, he says, and he said unto me, Son of man, the place of my throne, the place of the soles of my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. My holy name shall the house of Israel no more defile, neither their kings by their whoredoms, or their kings in their high places. And and it mentions in here again that no stranger shall come in to defile. So their role is the same as we're reading here in Numbers as it will be in this millennial kingdom in this temple. And just a few other points of reference. It mentions in chapter 45 of Ezekiel, in verse 18, it talks about the offerings that the Zadok, the priests, the Levites from the sons of Zadok, will perform in this temple. It talks about bringing trespass offerings. I'll just read a few of them. Again, I just want to put some perspective on this millennial kingdom. And it mentions, like I said, in verse 18, I know I'm going a little bit long, but I just think it's important that what's coming, we don't want to be surprised by. But verse 18, Ezekiel 45 says, thus says Yahweh, in the first month, in the first day of the month, you shall take a young bullock without blemish and cleanse the sanctuary. The priest shall take the blood of the sin offering, put it on the post of the house, the four corners of the altar, the same protocol when they set up the first tabernacle and dedicated it, okay? And they shall do so on the seventh day of the month, of every month. And in the first month, 14th day of the month, you shall have a Passover, a feast of 7 days, and unleavened bread shall be eaten. And it mentions 7 days a feast shall you prepare a burnt offering unto Yahweh, bullocks and rams and such. And in the 7th month, the 15th day of the month, you shall do like this in the feast of 7 days according to sin offering. So again, we see during the millennial kingdom the same pattern that we're talking about here in Numbers in the role of the Levitical priests.
Chad?
So I'll take a shot at your 273 question. So we know, this obviously points to Yeshua, redemption comes at a cost. So since there was no more Levites, and there was extra firstborn, that's why there had to be a payment made to Aaron and his sons. So that actually points to our salvation, our redemption came at a cost, what Yeshua did for us on the cross, and what our coming restoration. Just points to this, our salvation is not free. It's something that we cause, and now Yeshua paid the price. But when he returns, we're supposed to still walk this out. We're supposed to be holy. We're supposed to be separate. If this is an example of Yahweh being in the center of our lives, we just can't take that lightly with how we continue to be set apart and live our lives. So that's what I just thought of with the, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but.
Yeah. When you said that, because you said our redemption was not free, and the it's in the churches is constantly is like being taught correctly, but like it's a free gift to you, and everybody's always like, oh, the salvation is free, come take it. Salvation is free, come take it. And when you said that, I was like, it made me think. It's like, it's free to us. Somebody else still paid it. It was a very expensive price that was paid. So I just want to thank you. And I just wanted to point that out because in my mind, I was like, it made something click from years ago that was falsely proclaimed, well, half proclaimed. Let's put it that way, as a half-truth. It's like, it's a free gift. Well, it's a free gift to you. Very expensive. Sorry, I probably didn't need to add that, but it popped in my head. So, anything else? Nick, and back corner. I don't know her name.
So if I may, I just wanted to add on kind of a little bit to what Michael said about the firstborn. So there is... it was meant to be that the firstborns were to be servant priests. They were to, serve the family. You also had the double portion in there for them to be able to take care of the family and help out. And it was part of that. But it does point to several different things. The firstborn of man is not always the firstborn of God. And we see that with Judah. And we see it many other places in Scripture. We see that with Cain. We see that with Esau. They were the firstborn of man, but they didn't follow God's ways. They didn't follow Yah's ways, so then they were not the firstborn of Yah, right? And we have Jacob being the firstborn of Yah there. And then it all points to, as we say, Yeshua, because he is the firstborn among the brethren, right? He was the ultimate obedient one. And I think this kind of points to those things that, the firstborn, what they were meant to do, but they didn't always fulfill, so they weren't necessarily the firstborn of Yah. The firstborn of Yah do his will and do what he wants, and they serve as priests and servants of him and of their brethren. So, and to go with Mike's comment in Revelation, it does make the comment about in the New Jerusalem there will be, it says outside will be those that practice all these abominations, and then it says no one who is unclean will pass through her anymore. So it's talking about how that, with the comment he made with the camp. They're not going to be allowed into the city at all, those who practice abominations.
Does anybody know what the first attribute of those who are not allowed in the city are? It's like the first attribute for those who are not allowed in is being a coward. They'll go back and double check me on that, but whenever you're prompted to do something and you shrink back and you don't do it, have that in your mind. It's like you're supposed to be bold and courageous, proclaiming your salvation and who it was that gave you salvation. So there's a question, a comment back there, and I think this will be the last one because we're running out of time.
I was noticing in Numbers 3, verse 4, it's the second time in the Torah portion that we heard about what happened to Nadab and Abihu. They died before the Lord when they offered strange fire. And then we heard about it in Leviticus 10. Same situation. And the great sin of Nadab and Abihu was taking that which is common and offering it as if it were holy. And now, how that applies to our day. Sunday is a strange Sabbath, which God has not commanded us. So, Sunday's just a common work day, and you don't take something common and offer it to God as if it were holy.
Okay. Anything else? I think we're good. Yeah, I'm getting the time out. So I'll pray and we'll be dismissed. Yahweh, we thank you for your Torah that you have given to us. Father, we ask that you would just make it resonate inside of us, make everything that we say and do be reflected through you, through your word that you've given to us. Yahweh, we ask that you would make us holy as you are holy. May we be a bright light for you, eager to do your work, to build your kingdom and to glorify your name, Yahweh. We ask that you would just fill this Sabbath with your presence.